Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. What is Silver Genie Adda? Silver Genie Adda is a vibrant online space that brings together seniors, soon to be seniors, and their families to share experiences and build meaningful connections. Every month, we gather to exchange stories, engage in heartfelt conversations, and take part in activities that bring joy and a sense of togetherness. Adda is more than a program, it's a community built on stories, learning, and celebration. We believe that life doesn't slow down with age, it grows richer, deeper, and opens new doors. Here, everyday triumphs and personal journeys are honored, creating a space where lived experiences inspire new beginnings. The very word adda carries warmth, and it reminds us that cozy gatherings, free flowing conversations, and the joy of sharing laughter and wisdom. That spirit lives here, where growing older is not about stepping back, but stepping forward with courage and curiosity. On Senior Citizens Day, as we come together for today's webinar, we celebrate this spirit by reflecting on experiences, exploring new possibilities, and discovering how the care economy and purple economy can create a more inclusive future for all. And now I'll be introducing our panelists. So we have our moderator, Mr. Arvind Mittal. He is the business head at Money Madan Ventures Private Limited, a real estate company operating in Dubai and India. He is a devoted son, father, and a husband. Arvind is also a social worker and a wellness mentor who believes it's never too late to start living a healthier, more fulfilling life. He has helped many individuals, some well over their past 50s, and they embark on their own couch to marathon journeys. He guides them in overcoming mental blocks and creating lasting healthy habits. Now, Arvin's story is one of balance. He balances between business and well being, service and self growth. His practical approach, rooted in experience and empathy, makes him a relatable and inspiring voice for those seeking transformation later in life. Thank you, Mr. Arvind, for joining us this time.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanchita, for such a wonderful welcome and introduction. Thank you very much.
All right, now we'll be moving forward to our speakers for the day. Now we have Miss Paroma Ganguly. She's someone who has spent over 2 decades building some of the world's most well known brands, holding leadership roles at WPP, Iris, and Dentsu. But what makes her journey so remarkable is the shift she chose to make. From leading organizations through change and scaling healthcare and development communication practices, she began asking deeper questions. Not just how we communicate, but why, for whom, and to what end. That search led her into the world of health, livelihood, gender equity, and sustainability, where she now partners with organizations from global institutions to women led and emerging enterprises, helping them craft stories that don't just inform but truly inspire action. Her work today is rooted in listening closely, thinking systematically, and shaping narratives that drive real change. Because, as she beautifully says, the stories we tell shape the world we live in. Thank you, Paroma ma'am, for joining us today.
Thank you for your kind introduction, Sansita. I think you have introduced me better than I have ever introduced myself. So I'll use what you have written for my future bios and profiles. And what a pleasure and honor to be in such august company today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, Param.
Now we have our next speaker, Ms. Somita Basu. She's a true solution finder. Yes, ma'am. She's a true solution finder, someone who finds joy in improving quality of life at scale. After losing most of her mobility at 32, Ms. Somita turned a deeply personal challenge into innovation by founding Zynica Inclusive Fashion, a label shaped by her own lived experience to make dressing easier, more inclusive, and more joyful. Her career has always been rooted in inclusion, gender inequality, with roles as a journalist, social development practitioner, and public policy researcher. She also brings these values to her writing, reimagining popular fairy tales with feminist, inclusive twist, and published by HarperCollins India. At heart, she describes herself as a curious person who loves stories, good food, and above all, finding ways to make life better for everyone. Thank you, Ms. Somita, for joining us today.
Thank you, Sanita. And yeah, I mean, the more you talked about me, I started liking myself better. So thanks for
Thank,
that. And lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, Samita.
Now we have Mr. Neeraj Krishan. He is a seasoned journalist with over 14 years of experience, having worked with leading global and national media houses, including BBC, Al Jazeera, Times Network, Network 18, and The Week. He later transitioned into consulting for startups, driving brand building, investor relations, and strategic communications. Today, he leads the Purple Economy movement, championing economic inclusion for persons with disabilities. An avid sports person and fitness enthusiast, Neeraj brings the same energy and passion to his professional pursuit. Thank you, sir, for coming here today.
Thank you, Sansita. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks. Thank you.
Welcome, Neeraj.
Thank you, sir. Now we have the last speaker for our day today, Miss Reena Kutun. She's a senior systems
Last
enabler.
but not least.
Definitely. She is a senior systems enabler at Enable India with an extraordinary career spanning over 51 years in the social sector. She has transformed lives across 6 disability types, working through every stage of the livelihood cycle, from skill development to sustained employment. Her work reflects a deep commitment to creating lasting, systematic change for persons with disabilities. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today.
Thank you, and nice meeting all.
Yes, welcome, Reena. Pleasure
Thank
meeting.
you.
Thank you. Now we'll begin our session. Arvind sir, please, you can take it forward now.
All right, Sansita, thank you so much. And thank you for introducing everyone. You made our life easy, by introducing yourself. So it is a wonderful occasion that World Senior Citizen Day we are celebrating, and we will be discussing about purple economy, caregiving, care economy, and inclusion, diversity, and so many things. So my first interaction would be with Paroma Ganguly. So, Paroma, I've read about traditional economy, command economy, mixed economy, and market economy. What is this, purple and care economy, and how, it is to be a caregiver in this space? So, just enlighten us.
Okay, thank you, Arvind. And I think what a wonderful day to have this discussion.
Absolutely.
This year's Senior Citizen Day theme is around empowering elderly voices for an inclusive future. And therefore, it's so right that we have this Adda today, where we are at the intersection of senior care, disability care, and inclusivity all coming together. Um, I think from my perspective, I'd like to share a few things. Many of us on this webinar, on this Adda actually, would have caregiving experiences ourselves. And I think that's where the journey of care begins for all of us. While the focus of today's conversation is, of course, going to be on care around seniors and mobility and limited mobility issues, but I think caregiving is a journey that many of us go through from very early years, whether as a parent, whether as a caregiver to an elderly in the family or a sibling with special needs. It's a very, very personal thing. At the same time, when it's such a personal thing, we often forget that being a caregiver requires special skills, requires special focus, requires special sensitivity. And culturally, we are structured in such a way that we are much happier to do it organically versus
Right.
do it in the way that it should be done, which is with the right kind of experts. But
Absolutely.
more and more, I think, as the burden of senior care is growing, and burden is not the right word to use. Having said that, we do know that we are a rapidly aging society, which is going to see more and more senior people in the coming years. We are all realizing that, our kind of care, the one we give at home, is only limited in what it can do for the people that we have to care for. And that's where I think the purple economy, the care economy, is going to become so much more important than it has ever been in the past. And I think that's something that Silver Genie has also realized through its journey, that when we are in the business of providing care for people, we have to make sure that that care is at the highest quality. And that's where foundations like Care 360 really come into play. What is that gap that we really need to meet? That gap where you have a trained, skilled caregiver, not just in terms of technical skills, but also in terms of soft skills. Somebody who looks at care as a dignity based profession, not just for the person they are caring for, but also for themselves. Most often, we see that the people who come to our homes to provide care to members in our family don't have the dignity we are expecting them to give to others for themselves.
Very
And
right.
that's because this economy has been so nascent, often unregulated or overlooked. And collectively, I think that focus is so much more important now than ever before. That's I think one of the key pillars of the purple economy going forward. That how do we create that kind of skill? How do we create that kind of longevity, and also make this a career choice, not one of the last things that people who don't find other things to do decide to do. So I think dignity at both ends, dignity for the person who's receiving care, but dignity also for the person who's giving care. This
Giving,
also brings
absolutely.
us to the other question I think that we all probably need to think about going along, is that as family caregivers, what is it that we need to do to upskill ourselves? It is very easy to say that somebody else will come from outside and sort of provide that care in our homes. A lot of our parents live by themselves. We leave the job of caregiving to somebody else with them. But we all have some roles to play. And as maybe long distance care providers, long distance caregivers, what is that role? I think that's a critical question that people like us need to get together to answer as well. And I think the other very, very important thing on which I think Reena, Neeraj, and Somita will all touch upon is that there is some kind of an intersection between one's senior years and limited mobility. May not be disability in the true sense of the word disability, but as one ages, one's abilities become limited, mobility being one of the most important. There's hearing, there's seeing, there are all of those things. And somewhere along the way, we don't think of aging like that. I think we still think of aging from the perspective of being unwell, some kind of a critical need. We talk a lot about isolation and emotional well being nowadays, but day to day well being, which becomes so difficult to maintain as one ages. How do we equip the care economy to really take care of that? And what are the lessons, therefore, to take from the purple economy and bring them to the senior care economy? To be honest, is something else to consider. Silver Genie has been working closely with the UN, Women Care Accelerator program to look at care closely in the region as well. I think so much of the focus of that program is really to bring dignity to care, to make sure that care is paid and not constantly relegated to the side. And I think the work that Care 360 Foundation is doing to make sure that the kind of care skills that we bring at the center of all of these organizations who are in the jobs of giving care to people who need it is at the highest level. I think those are my little learnings from being part of the journey that Silver Genie's been on, being part of the journey that Care 360 Foundation is on currently. And yeah, I think the other speakers will have a lot more to add to this.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. I can relate to what you are saying. I have my personal experience. 6 years ago, my father had a brain stroke, and he was declared, disabled for lifetime by the doctor because he was 74-year young that time. And entire family was like, we were all planning that how we'll take care of him, we'll maintain his good health even if he's on bed. Everything we were discussing. In between, I thought, and I spoke very candidly in front of every family member that we are not specialists who can handle him as a patient. He's our father, I told my mom that he's your husband, but you are not trained who can take care of a patient like this. So we have to find somebody who is trained, who can in our monitoring. We will take good care of him in all other senses, but there should be one specialist who can take care of him. And trust me, it was difficult decision for the family. Okay, not because it would impact monetarily, that we could maintain that, but mentally it was difficult, that how someone else would come in our home, become a caregiver to our father, why we can't take care of him. So we used to struggle a lot initially, but then I'm very passionately can tell you, 6 years have passed like anything. He's healthy, he's happy, he's on bed, but he's absolutely fit. We did not have to take him to hospital ever after, okay, for any other problems. So it is so important to have a specialist on the job for as a caregiver, and I think Silver Genie is doing a phenomenal job in this space. And you have very well said that this economy is transforming, and this is going to be a booming economy, I would say. People are now understanding and definitely taking this kind of bold steps and taking good decisions. So I will not take much of your time and move on to Swamita for my next question. And if I will have any other question, will come back to you. Um, Swamita is someone who is. Swamita, can you hear me?
I'm Shomita.
Yes, yes.
Okay, before I ask you anything, I would request Sansita to play your story, and then we'll start the
I'm
discussion.
Shomita, the founder of Zeneca Inclusive Fashion.
So we design clothes in a way which helps you express yourselves without any inhibition. Even if you have, let's say you're an elderly or a person with disabilities or chronic illnesses. So we really bring universal design to the core, something which the fashion world has been missing.
All right. Wow. So Saumita is someone who is really inspiring. I've gone through your story. Somebody after declared, you know, I would say disabled, and then transforming your life and transforming many other lives, creating a brand, creating something different in the fashion space. It's commendable. Hats off to you, salute to you, and your story is truly inspiring. And I'm really happy that I'm talking to you. I wanted to meet you, but we have to talk on screen. I would like to ask you, Jenika's tagline is "Everybody matters, everybody matters." Okay, speaks volumes. How does this philosophy influence the design of each piece which you design?
I mean, that is the foundation of how every design is conceptualized, And in fact, before right now, we do sell off the shelf. You'll find our clothes on the website. But we started as a bespoke brand, which means we just took one person, their needs, made something only for them, and that took care of what is their needs and also what are their desires. Like, do they like pink or do they like funky pink or red or green or whatever it is? And clothing is something which I think is extremely personal, and at the same time it's also extremely social. So though personally I might feel like wearing a sari today, but if I'm going to a place which is more of a western, I don't want to like, I mean, I love to stand out, but not exactly in this way, right? You want to like actually fit in and then let people know that you may be nice and unique and all of that. You don't want to be left out. So it's because of it's so with that, that's the way we make it. So in the beginning, each and every one of our designs were co-created with the person that we made it with. It's not just we ask them what is it that they like and we give them something. Then we say, how do you think this can be done? Okay, this is I have made a sleeve here. Do you want to make it differently? So that's how it's done. So and then we tested it to every design is tested with at least 100 people, which means everybody is trying to fit in and see does it work and does it not. Every design may not fit for everyone, and that's the fun in it. Like one size doesn't fit all, but as a design house, as a fashion house, we have something for everyone. Not
Yeah.
everything may be for everyone, but there's at least something for everyone, and
Something
that's
for everyone.
that's how we roll. uh, the reason is it doesn't matter if I am fat, thin, tall, short, something that most of us have experienced, or someone with let's say a reduced mobility, somebody with a skin sensitivity, somebody who is just going through a changing time, somebody with maybe depression. You actually wear clothes differently when you're mentally not in the fun and happy, joyful place.
True.
Is that something that the clothes are giving? So what we notice is that the mainstream market is like, they make garments largely for people who have a particular shape, which is an hourglass. Most of us around us is not in that shape. So, and yet when we go to the trial rooms, we curse ourselves. We're like, oh my God, nothing fits me. I must go to the gym. Now that won't help because gym will let you reduce your weight. It will not change your shape. So I
Right.
feel like we are holding people to inconsiderate and wrong standards. So we're solving the wrong problem. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's get the problem right and let's find a solution to the right problem. And this made even more sense to me when I got frustrated while, maybe after I lost my mobility. I was actually bedridden for 4 years in between, at which point I couldn't move at all. Like even my fingers and all were not moving. And my mom had to help me dress up. So I was like, okay, I am getting help in dressing. It is still extremely painful. And still I look like a potato sack. I was like, okay, there has to be some reasoning out here, something that's a little bit more logical. And my mom is my primary caregiver, and she is my business partner. She was actually also wanted to join in today, but couldn't. So we used to have this fighting match every day, and I was like, I don't need to wear any clothes. She said, that's the one thing I think we can't compromise on, wearing clothes. and and I was like, if it's that important, if it's that fundamental, we should do it better. So that's how it started. It started with me, and I just refused to look like a certain way. I refused to this is something my mom says about me. She said, why don't you just compromise? I said, why? You live once, just
True.
once.
Absolutely.
And you forget getting a whole life back. You don't even get the next last hour back, right? So why? I
Absolutely.
mean, I'm happy to adjust, but compromise doesn't sound like a nice thing, so I don't. And I didn't, after having gone through this experience, I didn't want anyone else to go through it. I was like, you're supposed to dress up every day. Please, let's not have it painful. Let's not make it like you look like a potato. If you want to look like a potato sack, welcome. But unless you really want to, that shouldn't be the case. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a fundamental that everybody matters. And everybody contributes in some way, right? Like Parma said, the caregiving economy. So not only our family, and then when we have these experts looking at us, the doctors, the paramedics, so they all matter actually. Now imagine if they feel unhappy because they look like a potato sack. Will they make your life happier? So it's not just about my or individual quality of life. It spreads beyond that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said. So, what kind of challenges you faced while doing it? Like, how people understood about the intersection of caregiving and fashion for seniors? Like, what kind of thought processes you have to address for doing this job?
My first challenge was not to do with the understanding of the care versus clothing because anyone who's gone through it, they were the ones who were telling me, this is really needed. And maybe something like that also. And maybe you can make this also. So those who go through it, the moment they see that it's a possibility. So I initially used to get a lot of calls saying, I need something like this. Someone told me that you do this, but do you really do this? Like, is it possible? I'm like, yeah, of course. And so once I convince it is possible, then the ideas very often even come from them. That's why I said, like, a lot of my work is co-created. The community holds a very, very special place in the work that we do. But the challenge I faced was before that, which is when I first needed the garments, I never thought I will be a fashion entrepreneur. Even if I did become an entrepreneur, I never thought it would be in the fashion space. I There was a high chance of me doing it in the communication space because that's been my background, research communication. Okay, well, you build on what you have known for years, right? And so I went to other people who are designers, who have a line, maybe boutiques. And I said, this is my requirement. Can you make something for me? And then with my public policy background, I said, let's incentivize them. I said, there are lots of people like me. So if you just have another line, nothing incentivized them. They just kept saying, this is a brilliant idea. Never thought about it. Interesting. Can't be done. And I was like, okay, this is getting, after a few of this, I got really frustrated. I said, we are sending some stuff to the moon and the Mars and God knows what all we are doing. Things that people are not even understanding with enough clarity at a mass, right? Scientists do, most of us don't. And I thought 5,000 years ago, somebody saw a cotton ball, made cotton threads out of it, and then made sure they weave it into a fabric, then got the garment. I think we got the hard part done 5,000 years ago. Right now should be the easy part when you're just making fabric to clothes. So I said, okay, fine. You say it's not possible. That's okay. It's not possible for you. It has to be possible for somebody. I was tired looking for people. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And I just poured over lots of YouTube, Coursera, and all kinds of books and learned a little bit about what it means to. But, interestingly, clothing is something that we've grown up with, right? Like from the first day, we are wrapped in a towel, then it comes to a something. And then, so you have a relationship with garments. It's not like a new something that happens. So then I made something, and then everyone was like, oh, interesting. It's possible. I said, I told you so, but you missed the bus. So now I'm going to do this. And so that was the bigger challenge. But those who are within the care system, caregivers, those who need it, they understand the need for it immediately. I mean, for example, right now at this moment, I don't really have a festive wedding line. And I get calls and like, why don't you make a festive wedding line? I was like, yes, God willing, pretty soon. So they know it.
Wonderful. Very positive, very positive. Amazing. Some seniors we see, they feel that fashion is no longer for me.
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
I think it's not about seniors. A lot of us feel that way. I felt it when I was 15. And I continued feeling it till I was 35 when I had this problem. And that's because we look at fashion as if somebody's walking on the ramp and some glitters happening and you're, having props which makes no sense to anybody. Clothes that you would hardly ever see in any shop because nobody's buying it, right? But the way I define fashion is that where you're coming, it is something that defines you. Right. So you walk into a room, very often you don't walk in with a hi. You walk in after 2 seconds, you say a hi. But in those 2 seconds, your clothes have done the job of talking for you. They have told the people you've come there to, have a party or to, be mourning or sad or professional or informal. It talks a lot about you. Absolutely. And you let it do the talking without, really planning it. And that is for everyone. You want to look like you are, the authenticity of who you are. And I feel with the seniors especially, I miss my grandparents often. I've lost them, most of them at a very early age, and my grandmother also when I was like 21. But I think I've seen my grandmom becoming more and more and more authentic as the day passed. It's as if like, who cares? This is what I think and this is what it is. And for people like that. So if seniors are like that, so for people like that, fashion is more for them, not less.
Absolutely. Very right. So it's all about mindset. It's all about how we want to be, perceived, how we want ourselves to be looked in the mirror. So absolutely correct.
Though we don't necessarily plan it, but it ends up being a bit like that. And we have also said it like, like, oh yeah, I'm feeling so sad, and somebody will say, hey, come on, let's dress up and let's just go for a walk. So it has the reverse effect also. If you want to just feel yay, so you just dress up, maybe it does make you feel a little better.
Right. I'll come back to Paroma. I have one curiosity. Based on your experience, how do you think Paroma, Silver Genie, and Purple Economy, can connect and work together?
I think Silver Genie is very much part of the purple economy if you look at the care aspect of purple economy. I think what is going to be very useful in the days and times to come is for senior care to be seen as an important component of care, the care economy in itself. I think you said it beautifully, Arvind. We are not skilled to look after our parents. Even then, we struggle so much with the fact that we will get a trained caregiver. That seems like a bigger problem than the problem that I am not skilled to pick up my mother if she falls down. But I
Right.
think I am Rambo, whereas I could very well get a trained Rambo to pick up my mother. So I think
Absolutely.
the big opportunity, the big cultural shift that people like you and me who are actually decision makers in the caregiving process really need to bring in is the fact that senior care has to be trained, has to be scaled, has to be at the highest level, not only in times of illness, but on a day to day basis. And I think that's how senior care will sort of fit right where it needs to fit, which is as part of the purple economy. And right now is seen as something outside, something on need basis. But this has to almost become like an SOP going forward. So many seniors live by themselves. They should not be living by themselves. A
Absolutely right.
simple trained care provider who can be with them at home, who may not do much. If the senior is hale and hearty, touch wood, may all our seniors be hale and hearty, let them be by themselves, but they need somebody at home just in case. And I think that's the SOP that the silver economy, the senior economy needs to build as part of the overall purple economy. So, and I loved Shomita's point on fashion. I think forget elder people. I think people at our age also struggle so much with being the fashionable one in the family, the one who likes to dress up. And I think that gets even more compounded as you get older. So I think dressing up, like she said, can keep people so much more happier. But if you
Absolutely.
don't have a care provider at home who will help you dress up or who will go out and get you the things that you need to dress up, I mean, that's how intrinsic care is for the seniors because it's about the small things. So I think it's about making sure that senior care is seen as a qualified, skilled job, and it therefore comes under the purple economy as it should. And that's the future we should all be working towards.
Absolutely great. So we need to create an ecosystem, and I think government has also announced a policy wherein they are giving licenses for senior citizen homes. And in these senior citizen homes, since I come from real estate industry background, I can see that sea change in the industry, and these senior citizen homes are creating the ecosystem in the entire society where people would live. Like tomorrow, if I am 60, 65, I will be have a place to live where I will have a caregiver, where I'll be having a ambulance 24/7. I'll have a doctor on call, then emergency button in all my rooms, including toilet, kitchen, everywhere. And those guidelines are defined in the policy, and that change I can see in last 2 3 years, not long ago. So I think more we talk about it, more we write about it, more we discuss on this kind of platform, change would come in the ecosystem. Wonderful. I would request Neeraj Krishnan to please come on the mic, and Neeraj would share with us the introduction of purple economy and so many things about purple economy. Let's hear him out. And
Thanks, Arvind.
then,
Can you guys hear me?
yes, Neeraj, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the intro. Before I begin, just a slight clarification because I'll be talking about purple economy itself. So the UN often uses the term purple economy to describe the care economy, what we are speaking about. But what I'll be speaking about today is a little different in our context. Purple economy is about disability inclusion as an engine of innovation and economic growth. And the reason we call it purple economy is because purple being the color of disability. So with that, since we say economy, so of course there's the economics behind it. But before I get into all that, I want to just start with something closer to home for me. My mother, she's a strong, sharp, fiercely independent woman, but she's struggled with something most of us never think twice about, which is wearing clothes. Not because she's not fond of buying new clothes and so on and so forth. In fact, she loves fashion, but over the last few years, she's been struggling with frozen shoulder, which makes movement quite painful. And that opened my eyes because I realized that when systems are not designed inclusively, even the strongest among us are held back. And then a larger truth dawned on me, which was inclusion isn't a favor that we extend, it's a smarter way of building the world because there are use cases, use case scenarios like what Soumita was mentioning, and that realization brought me to what we call the purple economy. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you understand it, you realize that it has always been around us, shaping our world. The purple economy is a powerful force of innovation and growth that emerges when we design for human diversity. And history is full of its proof. History brims with solutions that started as solutions for disability that has worked for everyone. Eyeglasses, created to address vision challenges, open the doors of education, literacy, sparking centers, centuries of progress. The typewriter, designed as an accessibility tool, gave us the keyboard, and it's one of the foundation of our digital age. Automatic doors, first built for wheelchairs, became a universal sign of welcoming. Similarly, subtitles, designed for the deaf, now connect us in airports, classrooms, global conversations, even while watching a movie, just to if we have a problem with following the accent, subtitles help. So everywhere we look, essentially, the purple economy is already shaping our lives. It's given us the very tools we rely on every day, and now we have the chance to recognize it, scale it, and shape the future deliberately. And this is not a small market. Globally, it's an $18 trillion opportunity, and in India alone, it's worth over 13.5 lakh crores. So I say the purple economy is the next great economic awakening. The future is not green, it's purple. A system where inclusion fuels innovation and innovation drives, growth for all. And for today's gathering, let's bring it a lot closer. See, as we age, the barriers of design reveals themselves more sharply. But when those barriers are removed, life is not only easier for seniors, it's better for everyone. Like Samvita mentioned, adaptive fashion, makes dressing easier for a senior with a frozen shoulder, but also someone who's recovering from surgery or injury. And in Sansita's introduction of me, she introduced me as a sports person, and I regularly have shoulder issues. So that's something that helps me quite a bit. Voice-enabled tech and ergonomic devices, they empower elders with low vision while also helping children and even busy multitaskers. Accessible transport system. They give independence to those with reduced mobility while also making life simpler for families with strollers or travelers with luggage. We say a ramp is not just for somebody who's on a wheelchair. A parent using a stroller can use it. People carrying luggage, even entering a building. Accessibility serves everyone. And like I mentioned, subtitles and sound design, keeps elders engaged while also benefiting professionals in noisy environments or global teams across languages. In fact, in my screen, you can see that, the background is blurred. This is also, initially designed for disability. So, in short, this is the purple economy at work. When we design inclusively, we create dignity, safety, and independence, for seniors and for those who are disabled. And, it's a breakthrough for society as a whole. And at Silver Genie, that's they show how it looks like in action. Through cohort travel, thoughtfully designed with wheelchair access, medical support, and comfort at the core. So it isn't just a service for persons with disabilities; it's a reassurance for elders who want to explore the world without fear. Uh, Also curated itineraries, journeys paced with care, rest, and comfort in mind, and also accessibility first hotels, guides, and transport, all reimagined so that every touch point considers human dignity. So at Silver Journey, they prove that inclusive travel is not just a niche; it's a future, and that's true of travel. And what's true of travel can be true of every industry. And coming back to the purple economy, the real power of the purple economy lies in partnerships. Imagine if we build accessible tourism packages that serve seniors, families, and persons with disabilities alike. Imagine medical transport systems that provide independence not just in emergencies but in everyday life. Imagine an economy where accessibility is the baseline, not the exception. So the purple economy gives us this vision of an ecosystem where everyone is included and every business grows by designing with inclusion at its core, not an afterthought. And the truth is, the purple economy is already around us in the glasses you wear, in the subtitles you read, and even through the doors that you walk through every day. And like I said earlier, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And once you understand it, you recognize it as the most powerful lever for innovation and growth in our time. And this is an awakening before us. It's an opportunity to shape the next great chapter of our economy, one where purpose and profit work together. And without taking too much time, I'll hand this over to my colleague Reena from Enable India, who will share her thoughts about Purple Rights, which is a mobility initiative that embodies dignity, independence, and spirit of the purple economy in action. Thank you.
Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you very much for enlightening all of us. And indeed, you're doing a great job, and we will support you in your journey, and we'll continue to learn from each other. And yes, you already invited Reena, and welcome, Reena. You are Reena is going to have the spotlight session, Purple Rides with Reena.
Yeah. Thank you so
So
much.
let's
So
go
I
on a ride
request
with
to
Reena. Yes.
exactly ride. I liked when you mentioned ride, Arvind. So let us have a real ride in our this thing. So meanwhile, I request to share the slide. I request everyone to just close your eye for a few seconds. Just close everyone. I hope everyone closed it. And just imagine that you got up little late in one morning and you had to finish all your morning duties, jobs, whatever is there, everything in hurry burry, you guys did it. And you are already late to your office and you started booking cab or auto. So you are waiting for few minutes, struggling to get because you really stay very far away and lots of traffic in your area. Wow. Now finally you got one auto or cab and you're very happy. And the distance shows it's 15 minutes, but still you're okay because you got already cab and auto, right? So you're happy. So you're waiting for your driver. Driver is moving from 15 minutes to it became like 3 minutes. You're very happy. Ah, finally, my captain arrived. So now it became like 1 minute. So you're out of your house and you saw your cab or auto is just 50 meters away and he stood next to you. After looking at you, the driver cancels the ride. So now, whoever can unmute yourself, please unmute, or you can text the things. How do you feel now? Not a good ride, but how do you feel? No answer. It's
Uh,
silence, frustration, I
no,
can
it
see.
was
My
stressful,
everyday story,
and
Paroma.
it is truly everyday story. And you
Okay,
know,
so yeah,
when you are late and your cab
anger,
driver is canceling, it's really, really painful, and you feel frustrated.
yeah. And later you come to know the reason that because you are a woman, the driver cancelled, or because you don't speak local regional language, the driver got cancelled.
Oh,
I mean, he
silly.
cancelled the rides, or you are a senior citizen, so he cancelled your ride, or you are too young, you are a student, he will be thinking that he may not pay me, so he cancelled your ride. So if this is the reason, it's not acceptable, right? So already I'm seeing anger or this is the everyday thing which is happening. So this is what 2 years back with few of my colleague was happening. So usually they book the app, I mean the ride. The driver reaches to the location. After seeing he is a person with disability, he cancels the ride because of thinking that he may not pay me the money, or um, he if he when he's getting inside the auto, he may fall or he may get injury. So these are the different reasons. So I request the slide to just go next slides. I think I'll be telling next slide. Please don't get the thing. Okay, I would like to introduce one of my colleague, Malika. So she's from Gulbarga, from farming background, and she's from a very large family. She has lots of joint family and siblings, cousins, those other things. And she's working as an accessibility tester for a large organization. And can anyone guess here in what is her average spendings on a travel for a year? Any guess? Any number you can say. So in a year, how much money Malika could have spent on her travel by cab, by auto? I mean, this is only auto because in Bangalore, so I can see 10,000. Okay, in a year. Any other one more guess? 15,000. Not bad. Okay.
In a year, maybe around 50 to 60,000.
50 to 60,000. Okay. So I request second next slide. So when we met Malika and we asked, in 8 months, she spent almost 80,000 rupees on the ride, whichever she takes. And just imagine whenever Malika books the cab or auto, the driver comes and sees because she's a person with disability and she cancels the ride, but she's the one who's spending 80,000 in 8 months, and does she deserve the best customer experience? These are the questions which usually we ask, kind of thing. The next slide. So you can see Narasimha, very happy person. He's a deaf, married, he has a small kid, and he owns his own bike. Why I'm giving all this build-up is because to show that he has a bike, he's very independent traveling and all, but whenever he wants to go with his family, so whenever he books auto or cab, usually he gets the call from the driver and he finds someone who can talk to the driver. If he don't speak to the driver will cancel the ride, right? So always he feels very frustrated as a customer, kind of thing. The next slide speaks about the one more person who's a totally blind, Samir from Kashmir. He has traveled almost 18 states. He is a accessibility person, he's a trainer, so he'll be traveling. So whenever he travels outside by flight, so usually he does not face any kind of a challenges during the travel. But this last mile connectivity is always problem for me. Whenever he books the cab or auto, he needs to find someone because the app is not accessible for him, and he needs someone who can help the for booking the app. So this was the 2 years back, the scenario of which I was talking. So then we decided why the purple ride is required. So can we go to the next slide? I think the next slide will be part of my this thing. So can you just go? So let us see how did we really start this purple ride and why it is required, kind of thing. There is a small video. Can you just play the video, Pushkar? Voice is not there. Pushkar, can you check for a voice?
Persons with disabilities, mobility is a necessity, not a luxury. Introducing India's first disability friendly ride booking app, Nammayatri. Nammayatri has joined hands with Enable India to create Purple Rides, making auto rides inclusive and disability friendly. Our app offers personalized assistance, catering to users with various disabilities. With Purple Rides, Nammayatri and Enable India are rewriting the story of inclusivity in mobility. Join us on this journey towards a more accessible world.
Thank you.
ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ರೈಡ್ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತಂತೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಆದರೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು ನನಗಂತೂ.
The Nammayatri app, in short, I'm signing it as NY. Now they are partnered with Enable India to make it more accessible for persons with disability.
Nammayatri have been developed their app completely accessible for the persons with vision impairment. They have developed the talkback feature in their app so that a person with vision impairment can access all the pages of their app, and even you can update your profile on the Nammayatri app.
Well, the partnership that we have with Nammayatri is going to be led by the community and by the drivers. Nammayatri is already extremely driver-centric, and that's why it's not what we think or Nammayatri thinks. The community in phases are going to tell us this is what we want, and this is going to change the way all of us look at mobility solutions. Every other company needs to understand that listen to the customer, be centric to the customer with disability and the drivers. So I think it's going to change the landscape dramatically.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಹಾಯ ಬೇರೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಷ್ಟ ಪರಿಹಾರವಾಗಬಹುದು. ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬಿಚ್ಚಿ ಕೇಳಿ, ಒಂದು ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಡಿ.
Yeah. So in 2023 September, in collaboration with Nammayatri, we launched Purple Ride. So this is all the work which we did with Nammayatri. Can we go to the next slide? Not the video, the slide. So as we noticed in the video, so what are the changes really we did with the Nammayatri app? So the user, first thing we added the user profile. I think you can escape and just go back to the slide. So the PWD, we added the profile. I will, in my next slide, I will be showing how to add a user profile. So it will register saying that I am a person with disability and what types of disability I am, and the driver will be able to get the notification. And the second thing, because in one is the app accessibility, the other major, very important person is the driver. The service provider is driver here, and he should know how to cater or assist a person with disability. So what we did, we made a small 90 to 120 seconds ka video. So based on the disability, the driver will be able to see the video. So how he can cater person with vision impairment or physical disability. So I need to reach to the location. No, you please be in the previous slide only. So I need to reach to the previous slide. So I need to reach the exact location and pick the person with disability. And also with the deaf, I no need to call, I need to do the chat soon after the video. Yes, so that's the one. Yeah, so need to do. And the third thing what we did is we added the new feature, and whatever the existing the Nammayatri app was having, so we improvised the thing. So an example, as I've mentioned, for the deaf, the calling feature, we disabled it. So for an example, whenever I go to my disability profile, and if I say I'm a person with deaf, then immediately the calling feature will get disabled. And for the blind, added the talk back feature, so where all the pages are fully accessible. So now Samir no need to depend on someone else to book a ride, because he has talks back in his phone and now he can independently do it. For Narasimha, he no need to worry about, oh, because I cannot talk, so he can chat with the driver. So there is a prompt which he can just chat with the drivers. And for the blind, the how they need to orient the person, the video will show them for the driver how they need to assist, kind of thing. So this is about the app, different the modification or the changes what we have done. So let us see the next slide. So how we can register our the purple rights. Can we go to the next slide, please? Huh. So here you
We
can
have
do. So
only two
it's
more
like,
minutes, Reena.
yeah,
You will have to cover
you
up.
don't worry about the slides because many things are just going to the thing. So the adding profile. So whenever we register any basic information, name, phone number, we will be giving. And there is a small thing called "Are you person with disability?" So yes or no is there. When we click yes, there is a three different types of disability which you will be able to see. So one is vision impairment, locomotor disability, or my disability is not, because as per RPWD Act, 22 disability is there which we are not added. So I can select what is my disability and click on the submit button. Then it will give the customer guideline. Hey, driver knows how to assist you. So few information it will give. And later on, you can see the locomotor disability. So whenever I book a ride, the driver get the notification saying that this is a purple ride and your customer need an assistant, and based on the disability he will pop up a small video and the driver will watch the video and he will go to the location. Can we go to the next? So okay, all this, so what is the impact? So we are able to see, because right now we are talking about the purple economy. So this is the already proven model. In last 2 years, only in Bangalore, only in auto, almost 2.8 lakh drivers earned 7.59 crores of money, and 2.48 lakhs of person with disabilities are using the purple ride. So this is the latest dashboard which I have shown. And also when we just, can you go to the next slide? So whenever we just had the conversation, go to the next one. Next. Yeah, next slide. We'll just skip those things. Huh. So how did this happen, kind of thing? This is very interesting, and this will be my last slide also. As mentioned, so first we went and met different disability, the community, and we just asked them what are their challenges on daily basis during traveling. So we got all the customers' voice, PWD, person with customers' voices. Then we invited the product team to Enable India to meet person with different disability to understand the landscape. What types of disability, what kind of a solution they use, what kind of a challenges they are facing. So with the community, they co-created the product. And the engagement which we did with the partners, the driver partner, we made a small video and just on time. So we did not wait that, oh, let us create all 22 disability, then we'll go online. No. So we made it, okay, whichever is possible, plus one theory. So let us, whatever is there on just in time, we will just release the product, kind of thing. And later on we just made a community. So when the product is released, the purple ride is released, so we had a every month a communication with a meeting with the community to understand how the app is working, how the drivers is behaving, what are the enhancement we need to do. So those are the information which we started getting information and give it to the back to the Namayatri team, and they were enhancing. And this is right now available in the ONDC, which I will be not talking. And because Namayatri is serious about their work and the sustainability is important. So they hired a person with a vision impairment who is part of Namayatri, who's a totally blind, and he's the testing person, the purple ride. So whenever any thing they release, this person will do the thorough testing and he will give the go ahead and it will go, because that shows the seriousness of business, right? So without any accessibility they will not go ahead, kind of thing. So this is what the overall how purple ride works. And when we had few interaction with the drivers, they were so happy. Already our Bangalore drivers are more inclusive, then they were started saying, hey, we feel that more proud about our work. So usually in Bangalore, MG Road and Richmond Circle, few drivers won't go. But whenever they see the purple ride, they go beyond that boundary and they go and pick up the riders and they come. So this is the
Absolutely great,
cute
Reena.
stories which we can hear. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Reena. It was a great ride, I must say that. And I would congratulate you for a commendable job and wish you good luck for, more growth in future. It's
Thank
really,
you.
really needed and you're doing a great job. Wonderful. So our session has come to the end. And so, Samita, what is your closing remarks for the day?
I have an announcement, not a remark.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so let's just go back to something that you had said earlier about what's the connecting point between shared economy and purple economy. And let's also say, I mean, I of course am a huge champion of the purple economy, right? Because it's not just about being the buyers, but also being the sellers as well. So that's the whole part. We are an economy. And the way we see the thing coming in, while we, yes, it started with disability, but like Neeraj said, a lot of things starts where things are most complicated, and that becomes easiest for everyone else, right? So it's like something which makes my life better is something that makes your life easier too. And easier is better. We all agree, right? Like nobody can tell me easier is not better. So I think except for emails and letters, I still like letters, but okay, that's a side conversation. I think the part of a purple economy, let's just say the way it is that it is meant for all, even those who may have challenges that we don't necessarily always talk about, those with invisible challenges that often gets overseen. We don't look at it. And I'll give you a very, very simple example. Um, when I was a non-disabled person and I was running around the office, someone once told me, "You're so fast. Can you please not be this fast? I can't keep up with you." You're going from one end to the other, and I need to keep up with you. I didn't realize she had to keep up with me. I didn't realize I was fast. So it's an interesting thing. Why couldn't she? I didn't think it was not polite of me to ask. But then later, I just found that she's just a slower movement person. There's no quote unquote disability. There's no quote unquote a medical problem. And I think we tend to forget that. We tend to forget that we as human beings are so different. We are going to be different in our ways without a specific medical condition or a legally defined disability, right? And
Absolutely.
it is that inclusion that excites me. And that's a part where silver economy comes in pretty close, right? Like we are about trying to make a group of people who have had such a brilliant life to not stop having it just because they have aged. And some say with age comes complications. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. Or with age, we just evolve. And the
Absolutely.
evolution is
Age
physical
is
as
just
well.
a number. And
And I think it's like the talk is called, right? Small things and big differences. I think sometimes when we just talk about the way we talk about something, like the small something, here again, like another example is like, I used to feel so bad. Everybody asked me, how are you doing? And I know I was not doing well. And I didn't want to have this toxic positivity saying, oh, I'm so fine. I'm like, no, I'm not fine. Yeah, I'm like really not fine. And it used to be even more complicated because if I say I'm fine and they say, okay, can we meet for coffee? I'm like, no, I'm actually sick. I can't meet for coffee. So that becomes complicated. I started saying that I am fine. I'm really good. You better believe it. But my body is not. And it's kind of getting there. It's getting better. So I am not necessarily just my body, right? And just that little shift in conversation, it tells the other person, yeah, she's physical, she needs some space. We can't just ask her out for coffee. But at the same time, she's good. We can talk to her. It's all fine. So small changes. And it's in the small change, I think, Also the way we talk about our elders, like, "Arey, poor thing, he has aged." No, why? Oh, what fun! He has aged. Now let's figure something else out with them, right? So I think I've spent most of my life either sleeping or having fun. Sleeping was much, much less. Having fun was much, much more. And I would hate to think that once I start being called old, that I will stop. So it is in that spirit that Silver Ginny and Zainika, and if you think about it, Zainika was born out of the ideas of disability, and that's when we put it together. But many and many and many of my customers today are from the elderly community. Sometimes it's something as simple as, I used to wear a sari all the time, I want to wear a sari, that's who I am. So we make saris for them, that's easy for them to wear without sitting or without standing, just lying down, you can still be yourself. uh, Whenever I'm too sick and I'm lying down almost constantly, I say, the horizontal position is not that bad, but that shouldn't make me look bad either. So that's true for them as well. So we are starting something called the Silver Line, and that's a partnership between Zainika and Silver Genie. That's the big announcement. So you will have an entire line of clothing that is specifically designed for our elders, where they can feel good, just be themselves.
Absolutely great. Feel good, be themselves. Wonderful. So our session has come to an end, and my closing comments for the day would be like, it was a phenomenal session, a lot of enlightenment, about the purple economy, about caregiving. You are doing a phenomenal job, Samita, and Neeraj, Reena, and Paroma. All of you are truly inspiring. Keep doing good work. Let's connect more often. Let's talk more about it, and let's reach to more and more people with, the idea to create the ecosystem. Few of us would not be able to change the entire world, but for some, we are the entire world, and we can change their lives. That's my understanding is, and thank you so much, everyone. If anyone wants to say as a closing comment within 15 to 20 seconds, we can still take that. Otherwise, we'll go to Prakhar for the closer of the session.
I would just say, watch out for the brilliant clothes coming your way, and let us know what you want.
Thank you so much. Anything, Neeraj, Reena, Paroma?
I'll just say that, as a closing comment, that, inclusion isn't, an act of kindness. It's a design principle for a smarter world. When we build systems that work for persons with disabilities, we create solutions that benefit seniors, families, and entire communities. And the purple economy is already around us. And I reiterated again that, once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And I hope each of us carries forward that vision into our own circles, because that's how communities transform.
True.
So I feel always accessible for one is accessible for all. So that's the thing.
Wonderful. Anything from you, Paroma?
No, I feel very inspired by whatever we have discussed today. And I think we should all go out of this chat as influencers for inclusion. We will all get old one day. So, unless and until we take this on to us to take this ahead within our communities, for ourselves, for our futures, the change will only be limited. So, I think we are all agents of incremental change over here. It's been absolutely wonderful to be part of this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Prakhar.
Yes, sir. And thank you everybody for joining today's session. And I'm glad that everybody came together to deliver such an important message and to discuss such an important point, which touches all of us, no matter how much we ignore it or how much we are non-observant. So even Neeraj said a very nice word, you can't really ignore it once you see it. So, and as people working in the care economy, I am privileged that everybody is here. We talked about purple economy, where we talk about inclusion and the fact that it's not just about Samaj and Sarkar, it's also about the bazaar, which is involved. And this is from Shanti ma'am actually, these three words, and that's why Neeraj and Reena are also smiling about it. So it makes a lot of sense, in terms of making lives easier for all of us. Uh, so thank you so much for attending this event. And at Silver Genie, we are also celebrating World Seniors International World Seniors Day, which is tomorrow on 21st of August. And as a part of the celebration, we are also extending few offers on our platform. So please feel free to refer us or use our services. Uh, and currently, we are active in Delhi and Kolkata. So please reach out to us. So, and thank you so much for attending this event, everybody who has joined. Uh, yeah, next we'll see you in the next event, which is based on Black architecture, which is creating lively spaces in our when we are designing new homes, so that we encourage positivity all throughout the house, especially for elders and who are spending more time in the house. So next session is about that, and we'll keep you posted in the webinar announcements group, which you're already part of. So thank you so much, everybody.